Welcome to Inspirational Journeys, everyone. My name is Ann Harrison. And before we get to today's topic, I'd like to wish each and every one of you a happy 2021. And may your 2021 be richly blessed and prosperous. And may you achieve, or at least attempt to achieve, all the goals that you've set for yourself in 2021. I'd also like to remind you to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching the video, and like the video and hit the notification bell so that you do not miss an episode. And also, if you're on the podcast, do subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform or app so that you don't miss an episode. And no matter whatever app you're listening on, please be sure to leave a rating and a review. That helps other people find me. And be sure to share it with your friends. If you feel that any of the writing tips that I've given you thus far in the nearly 2 years of podcasting that I've done, either tips from myself or my guests, have helped you in your own writing goals, please be sure to let your friends know. It helps the community grow. Okay, so now on with today's topic, which is step 9 and 10 of the Snowflake Method, and also some tips and tricks to help you tailor the method to your own writing and plotting needs. Okay, so first of all, let's do an overview, a rundown, a review of what we've covered in the last 8 episodes, not counting any interviews or launch parties that I've done, but in the last 8 episodes. And if you're just joining me or just subscribed, please go back and listen to those episodes to get more details. Or, as always, you can go to advancedwritingfiction.com/free to download chapters 19 and 20 of How to Write a Novel Using the Snowflake Method. Get the entire book for yourself so that you can enjoy the story. Believe it or not, he does have a story that goes along with it. And he also has a book called How to Write a Dynamite Scene Using the Snowflake Method. I highly recommend that one as a craft book. If you wanted to learn more about how to write craft, I will not cover that one as much, but I will be hopefully interviewing Randy Ingermanson at some point in the near future, so we can kind of give an overview of what that book entails, and we can talk about some of his other stuff. So I look forward to that one. That will hopefully be coming up in the next month or so, although I've got interviews coming up in the next few weeks too, so stay tuned for that. But for now, let's do a quick overview of each step of the Snowflake Method to this point. Okay, first of all, you're pre-planning your story's genre, the type of story you want to write, and why would your audience be happy with the story. And then you do your 1-sentence summary of the story, which you want to memorize so that you can give the elevator pitch to your friends and any other people you network with, whether it be online or in person, which a lot of those will probably be more online now anyway, but still, this is the summary you want to give to people who ask you about your writing. Then your 1-paragraph summary, which Randy Ingermanson advises or suggests, shall we say, that you send to editors and agents or publishers, but it also helps you know where your story is going. Then you want to go, and step 3 was your character summary sheet, character's name, goal, abstract ambition, conflict, values, epiphany, and your character's 1-sentence summary, and the 1-paragraph summary for each character. Remember, your main character is the character of your story arc, and each of your side characters, even though they're primary, they have their own story arcs. So I may be giving you that list of precursor information you need before you write down the 1-sentence and 1-paragraph summaries out of order, but be sure to download the PDF that I mentioned so that you can make sure that I'm telling you right, or you can get them in the right order. And then after that, you do your 1-page synopsis. Then you do your 1-character Bible, or your 1-character Bible, I'm sorry, your character synopses. I do apologize, I'm not looking at it right now, but your character synopses, which means your backstory for each of your characters and the role that each of them plays. So you can do like the summary sheets and the synopses, you can do them as a separate pages in one document, or you can do them as separate documents. But you can do the same thing with the synopsis, but after we get through with the next overview, next step, that's where it gets a little bit longer. So then you do your 4-page synopsis, your character Bible, which each character Bible needs its own document because it's going to be a lot lengthier. Like I said, I have a template that I can send you if you need questions, or if you want to use the questions that were used in Snowflake Method or the Goldilocks story in the book that's in the chapter 20 of the PDF. You're more than welcome to do that, or you can go online to random character question generators and things like that. So there are several different ways to do that. But if you want the template, please email me or get in touch with me and I'll send that to you. And then step 8, of course, was making a scene list. For me, I would do chapter 1, scene 1, your chapter/scene number, because I found that some chapters have multiple scenes. Your POV character, a scene summary, which a 1 or 2 sentence scene summary, and then your timestamp, or you can make it as complex or as simple as you want for step 8. And now we're going to move on to step 9. Okay? Step 9 is making a scene plan, which if you're a heavy plotter, this is going to work for you, because you're going to have to figure out whether each, write a summary of each scene. You have proactive and reactive scenes. Your proactive scene has your goal, your conflict, and your setback. Your reactive scene has your reaction, your dilemma, and your decision. Let me double check. I've got my document open, so let me double check, make sure I'm giving you that right information. Right, reaction, dilemma, and decision. And sometimes you're going to have more proactive than reactive scenes. So if you like planning that far ahead in advance, you definitely want to do that. You don't have to have a spreadsheet for this. You can do this in like a scene journal, which if I were actually doing this part in the drafting, I would be using a scene journal, which I may do that for revision. But after you get your scenes planned out, if that's the way you do your novel, plan your novel, then step 10 is simply to write the novel. Once you have everything planned for the entire novel, then you can write your novel. Now, and that's it in a nutshell, pretty much, for the scenes. Okay, so now that I've given you the overview of the scenes, each scene and each step, and the details that go along with each step, in the last 8 episodes, well, this will make 9 episodes, I want to give you guys some tips, okay? So let's say you're a plotter, you're becoming a snowflaker, but you want to pants, okay? Randy Ingermanson, in his book and in that document that I was telling you about, he even says, use the steps that work for you, skip the steps that don't, and make it as flexible as it works for you. Now, if you find that some of your, like with your character Bible, if you use a template and you put your name, role, oh, for crying out loud, I forgot the role. Your name, role, goal, ambition, values, conflict, epiphany. Oh, wait a minute, is it conflict, values, and epiphany? I'm not sure, I don't remember. I'm not looking at it right off the top of my head. But anyway, if you want to add that to your character Bible and condense that step down and then add the backstory, that's okay. You work each step first, and then once in either writing, or for me it would be revising. You want to use it to revise a novel, a draft of a novel that you've already done. You want to use it to learn more about the characters and make sure your scenes are working like they're supposed to. Then go ahead and do that too. I would highly suggest that you do that. I'm going to do that for myself. But then as you work through the steps, you can see which steps you need to use and which steps, you know, don't work for your type of planning. I am a snowflaker, yes, but I also like to pants a little. So I've got my scene list. I haven't done the scene plan. Now, when I go back and do my revisions for my novel for Body and Dome Advisor's Office, and then while I do the revisions for Shadow of Truth later on, I'm probably will write a scene plan to make sure that the scenes are written as they're as strong, and I'm not going to say as they're supposed to be, because each book is different, each scene is different, each chapter is different, but I'm going to make sure that my scenes are as strong as they can be before I send it, before I have a sensitivity reader, before I have send it to sensitivity readers and an editor. I want to make sure that the scenes are as strong as they can be. So that's why I probably will do more of I'll do the scene list, but I'll probably do more of a scene plan for revising the book rather than actual writing the book. So it all depends on how much you like to plan or how much you like to pants. You can still work these steps, write your synopses. That way you have an idea of where your story is going and do the steps to plan and pants your novel. I'm getting tongue-tied here, sorry. But make it flexible. It doesn't have to be all straightforward. You work the Snowflake method in the way that works for you. And honestly, if you want to look at other craft books like the Save the Cat, or go to Reedsy's story structure lessons, there's also a Snowflake. There's also a How to Write a Novel Using the Snowflake Method lesson on course on Reedsy, and you can take that one too if you think that would actually be beneficial for you. You can certainly take that course, and it's free. So there are several ways you can access this method. But I encourage you to buy the book, even if it's just for the story. I mean, seriously, I really encourage that, because that's going to not only show you the method in action, but Randy uses characters that we all know and love, that we've grown up with: Goldilocks, the Three Bears, Robin Hood, the Three Little Pigs, the Big Bad Wolf, which, well, I'm not going to tell you what happens with the wolf. I'm not going to tell you what happens with that. You're going to have to read the book to find out. But it shows you how the method works, and it has a story that keeps you hooked. No, not gonna spoil it. Not gonna spoil it. I promise. Because I know that, you know, that's one thing I don't want to do. I want people to read it. I don't want to end up spoiling it and saying, "Oh, well, you just told me what happened." I don't have to read the book. But those are my tips for you in 2021. If your goal is to plot your novel, especially if you're writing mystery like me, if your goal is to plot your story instead of, say you tried pantsing, and pantsing doesn't seem to work, but you've tried bare bones plotting and you still don't seem to have a strong idea of where your story's going, then try the Snowflake method. I mean, it doesn't work for everybody, but there are tens of, as quoted in How to Write a Dynamite Scene Using the Snowflake Method, tens of thousands of people have used the method. So, you know, there are people that use it, people that don't. You know, you tailor it to your needs. That's all I can suggest. So those are my tips for you. And I reached out to Randy Ingermanson, and I'm hoping that, he said he wanted to be a guest on the show, so I'm hoping that we can get him on in the next couple of months, so that, you know, so that he can talk more about not only the Snowflake method, but his writing too, because I read one of his novels too, and I absolutely loved it. So I look forward to that. I've got some interviews coming up in the next few weeks as well with authors and some other professionals. So do stay tuned for those. And if you have any questions about the Snowflake method you would like me to ask Randy, please do not hesitate to email me or message me on social media with Inspirational Journeys interview in the or no, not Inspirational Journeys. That's if you have any feedback, or if you want, you know, have any general questions, or you want to be on the show, that's what you do. But if you have questions specifically about the Snowflake Method, please put Snowflake Method in the subject line, and I'll be sure to ask those questions. Okay, so again, may your 2020 be prosperous, and I hope you guys have a blessed day and have fun with this method. Have fun. It's not to make you creative, because you already are creative. And before I go, I will tell you the most fun part of this one for me. It wasn't writing the plot. It wasn't writing the one sentence summary, the one paragraph summary, the 1-page synopsis, or even the 4-page synopsis. The most fun I had with the planning part of this was the character Bible, because that's where you dig deep into your characters' lives. He calls it a character Bible, but I would call it a character sketch. That's where I had the fun with it. So enjoy this time of if you choose to use this method, enjoy it and make it your own. Use what steps you need. Don't use the steps you don't need. If some of your shorter steps take longer than an hour, that's okay. If they take less than an hour, that's okay. Take as much time you need for planning. But make the process your own. And let me know whether or not the Snowflake Method works for you. Also, let me know how well it works, and keep me posted on your writing, because that way, we can build a community that way. We can build our own writing community, our strong writing community, the Inspirational Journeys community. So yeah, let me know how it goes. And if Snowflake doesn't work for you, but you have another plan that works and you want me to check it out and talk about it on the podcast, let me know that too, because I'm open to looking at other methods and possibly explaining and talking about those as well. So do contact me. I would love to hear from my listeners and my viewers. You can leave me a comment on the YouTube video as well. You can also, for those of you listening on the podcast, you can also leave me a voice message. Don't forget that too. So enjoy the process, trust the process, and have a great new year. So I will talk to you soon. Have a blessed one. Bye-bye.